So welcome everyone, my name is Emily for anyone who is new here, and I welcome you into this session just by sitting yourself down or laying down and making yourself as comfortable as you can. We're going to spend a moment putting our worries and fears or anything that we don't want to carry into the giant worry bowl here. So if you like, you can join me in crossing your hands over your chest. I'm just going to readjust my microphone actually. That might be a bit better now. And I always love when I record. That's bound to be when I stuff it up. So we're just going to give ourselves a little butterfly hug here. Bilateral tapping, just sending through a calming signal to our nervous system. And just taking a nice big breath in, breathing in through the nose, breathing into your belly. And exhaling with a sigh. Just settling into your body, into this space where you sit. And just see if you can bring to the forefront of your mind anything that's been worrying you or angering you, making you feel any sort of discomfort in the body, and just bring it to mind now and see if you'd like to express it from your mind and body. So you can see if you'd like to speak it out loud, speak its way into the bowl, or maybe just continuing to breathe nice and deep and sighing on the exhale, imagining it coming out of you. Or maybe some other noise, or maybe just imagining it making its way out of you and into the worry bowl. It's up to you if you'd like to stay still or if you'd like to gently sway. And just taking a few deep breaths and expressing these things in any way that feels right for you today. You might like to join me on a nice big inhale, again breathing in through the nose, filling up your belly. And then as you sigh the air out, just focus on relaxing any tension in your lower limbs, just letting go of the tension in your thighs, your knees, your calves, your feet. And then breathing in your own rhythm whenever you're ready. And doing the same thing, just letting go of any tension in your back, in your chest, in your shoulders, in your neck. Just letting it go. And on the next breath, just focusing on letting go of any tension that you might be storing in your face, in your head. And we'll go ahead and put that bowl of worries and concerns and things out of sight, out of mind. You can ask for them back at the end if you really want them. Otherwise, we'll leave them there. And now we've gotten rid of what's at the forefront of our mind, let's give our subconscious mind permission to release as well. So repeat after me, saying out loud, I give my subconscious mind permission to release my worries and fears now. And having given that permission, I want you to put your hands out in front of you and just imagine that you're able to place whatever your subconscious mind was holding on to, and you're placing it in the palm of your hands. So it might have felt like some tightness somewhere in the body or some pain or something else entirely. And just imagine what it would feel like. So imagining the weight of it, whether it's heavy or light, or imagining the temperature of it, the texture of it. Just imagining what it might feel like. And once you get a sense of it, just clamp down on it. We're going to take it out to the sides or up overhead, wherever you can. Take a deep breath. You want to throw it at the ground, let it go and say, shoo, and just feel that energy shift out your fingertips. And we're going to do it again 2 more times. So just in your own time, getting that sense of how that blockage or that energy that your subconscious mind was holding on to might feel in your hands. Taking it wherever you can. Deep breath when you get there. And one more time, really consciously this time, clamping down, taking it out or up, deep breath. And give yourself a shake off after that last one. Now, if you have the energy for it, you can stand up and really jump about and make that shake off really energetic. But if you're low on energy, just meet yourself where you're at. And just might look like a gentle shake of the wrists, maybe of your legs. Maybe you want to twist your arms side to side. however you'd like to just release that extra energy there. And then when you feel ready, just bringing your hands slightly cupped onto your lower belly. We're going to tap our way from here all the way up the body, just helping our own life force energy flow throughout us a little freer. So if there is still an area where it feels a bit tense and stuck, you might want to linger there for longer. Otherwise, just following down the inside of your arm, building up some happy seal energy. Look as ridiculous as you can. Put a big smile on your face if you can muster it. And then tapping your way back up, all the way up to give yourself a big pat on the back for showing up for yourself in this way, for doing these practices. And we'll tap our way down this other side. And building up some happy seal, happy walrus, ridiculous energy for the middle. Round of applause. And then tapping your way back up, all the way up for another big pat on the back. And then bringing your hands to the center of your face and little raindrops coming down the center there. It's been heavily raining here for the last couple of days. So making that rain fall down your face and just tuning into that sensation there. And when you're ready, just bringing some gentle fists up to the top of your head and tapping along and around to the back. And if that's too much for you, you might just like to run your hands through your hair. If you can, just tapping your way over your head and to the back of your neck, and a third row just above the ears and down and around. Before we find our kidneys, giving ourselves a pat on the lower back and tapping our way down the outside of our legs and onto the top of our feet before coming back up. And just resting your hands back on your belly once again. You might like to close your eyes down and take a few deep breaths. And just check in with how it feels to be in your body in this moment. Noticing that buzzing sensation that you've just created through the tapping. Bringing to your awareness the edges of you, where you end and the external world begins. And noticing that buzzing. Noticing how your life force energy is flowing a little freer throughout each part of you. Noticing what's coming up or what's settling for you. Noticing the type of thoughts that are moving through your mind. And noticing the pace at which they're moving. No judgment here, just sitting with what is and noticing. And we're going to do a little exercise before we get into our movement. It's called Pendulum, and you can lie yourself down if you like, or you can remain seated. But we're just going to continue this check-in and find an area of pain or discomfort and just really focus in on that area and sitting with that pain for a moment, just for as long as you can. And again, just trying to do this practice without any judgment of the pain or the discomfort, but just really being with it. Noticing it. You might like to place a hand on the area where you feel it. And maybe for you it's an emotional pain. Whatever it might be, just sitting with it for a moment until it feels a little too much, and then just find an area within your body that is either neutral or pleasant. And just going there and doing the same thing, just sitting there with that feeling. Again, you might like to bring your attention and awareness to it by placing a hand over the area. And you can just move back and forth between these areas of discomfort and neutrality or pleasantness within the body or the mind, with awareness and without judgment. Just trying to sit with those sensations within for as long as you can. You might like to focus in on your breath as you sit with any discomfort. So breathing nice and deep in through the nose, filling up your belly. And sighing that air out, either through the nose or with an actual sigh. And just moving from that place of discomfort or pain or tension to that place of neutrality for a pause between. Just increasing your ability to sit with what is, without trying to change it, without trying to force anything, without judging anything. And you can continue on in this way. You're also welcome to start connecting in with your body through gentle massage. And so you might like to go to those places of discomfort or tension and just massage into those areas. So for me, I hold most of my tension up in my neck and shoulders. So you're welcome to join me here in a massage of this area. You might like to press down firmly and just move your head around. Or you might prefer to actually massage in and move your hands around and hold your head still. If you are making movements, then just make sure that they're nice and slow and controlled. And just connecting in a little further, sending those areas a little bit more love in this moment. Sort of saying that, yep, I notice you, I hear you, I'm aware of you, and I'm sending you some love. And don't forget to breathe through any discomfort that you might be feeling. Ideally through your nose. It's really good to be breathing through your nose if you can. It helps to detoxify the body. And you might like to move from wherever you are to a different area if you're finding some discomfort in other parts of you. Just send those parts some love through gentle touch, massage. You might like to just apply some pressure. And just notice how the sensations change in your body. And then how they change again when you release the pressure. Just trying to really tune in to those little sensations that happen within us, that are happening throughout every moment of every day that we often don't notice. And you might be noticing that you're holding tension in your face, in which case you might like to apply some pressure to those areas. Maybe give yourself a face massage and just shift any worry out of your brow. Or perhaps you're holding some tension in your jaw, so you might like to apply some pressure here or massage around in these tender areas. And when you feel ready, then just bring yourself back to a seated position. And we're just going to begin our movement for the day. And we're going to begin with a gentle sway, just very, very gently moving our body in fluid motion from side to side. And your movements might become a little bigger as you go, moving all the way over to one side, all the way back. Again, just making sure that your movements are slow and controlled. You're not overdoing it at any stage. And you might like to bring that sway forward and backwards, so moving your spine in the other direction, curling the shoulders over, then opening them up. Leaning all the way forward perhaps, and really curling yourself over. And you might like to even explore moving one shoulder down, one shoulder up at a time, just really getting some motion happening in ways that maybe you don't normally move. Just starting to wake your body up. You might like to take your body around in circles, rotating in the center, going one way and then back the other. And you might like to bring your arms into the movement as well, just free flowing, creating a bit of an interpretive dance of explaining how it feels to be you in this moment, not worrying about how it might look. So you might even like to close your eyes down and just really tune into the sensations of your body, noticing which muscles are being used to move in these ways. Noticing how those muscles engage and release. Maybe you'd like to bring your legs into the movement as well. And if you like, you can even stand up to explore some more movement in your legs and in other parts of you. And as you explore these movements and these sensations within, I invite you to also add to this practice and hum, so you can massage that vagus nerve of yours from the inside and do a bit of habit stacking. So breathing in nice and deep and hum, noticing that vibration that moves throughout your throat and down into the core of you each time. And this might be feeling really good for you, in which case you can continue on with the fluid, free-flowing exploration of movement. You might like to bring that movement back to stillness in the center and just bring your feet in to meet in the middle and just really opening up in the hips there. And perhaps just holding here, stretching your back up nice and straight, or perhaps leaning into that stretch. Now don't worry if you're on a chair, you can recreate a similar feeling, just opening up that stance wide, making sure you're stable, and then leaning yourself in to create that stretch there in the groin. And just breathing nice and deep into that opening there. We store a lot of tension and trauma in our hips, so just exploring the release there, noticing what comes up for you in sensation, in emotion. And you might like to walk your hands forward if you've got the range of mobility there. Or maybe just pulling your body forward, holding on to your ankles. And just breathing deep through any discomfort that arises, but just recognizing that if there is pain there, just pull the intensity back a little bit. We don't want to overdo it. And when you feel ready, you can bring yourself back to center. I'm going to keep one leg tucked in and stretch out the other leg, and don't worry if it's not straight. We're just going to wake our legs up a little bit, so reaching up overhead, deep breath in, twisting over towards that outstretched leg and leaning down towards it. Don't worry about how far you get. We're not here to do these practices perfectly. We're here to practice. And just breathe nice and deep, perhaps using each exhale as an opportunity to go a little further. And if you're seated, then just recreating a similar feeling in your legs, just stretching one leg out, leaning down towards it. feel ready, just bring yourself back to center. We're going to switch it over to the other side. Stretching up nice and tall if you can. And then reaching out towards the other leg. And after a few deep breaths here, or whenever your body said it's had enough, just bringing yourself back to center. And we're going to stretch out our shoulder blades, so taking your hands together, pressing out and away from the body. You might like to tuck your head in, or maybe keep it up if you've got any sinus issues. And if you like, just experiment with taking it from side to side and notice how your core engages on the sides there, just switching back and forth, side to side. And when you're ready, coming up in the center, stretching up nice and tall, deep breath in. And we're going to lean over to one side and hold. And just building our interoception skills here. Just waiting to feel either the heat or the shakiness of your body kick in, signaling to you that it's had enough. And so you might already feel it. You might be signaling to come back to center, in which case you're stretching up nice and tall again on the inhale and taking it over the other side and feeling for those same signals to begin in the body, that heat and shakiness. Or for you, it might be a different signal, and just bring yourself back once you feel it. Before bringing your hands behind your head, really opening up your chest here. You might just like to breathe nice and deep into the center. You might like to twist your body again, just releasing any issues in the tissues. You might like to experiment with taking your body down and over across your body, taking one elbow down towards one knee. Don't worry if you can't actually get there, just taking it forward and across the body, creating a nice twist, and then maybe experimenting bringing one knee up. And the other side. And if you like, just moving through those motions again and really tuning in to the body and all the sensations, all of those muscles working together, strengthening your core, increasing your stability, increasing your mobility. Noticing how it feels to lift your leg up rather than leaving it down. And when you're ready, just bring yourself back to center, letting your hands go. And you might need to give yourself a little shoulder shrug here, just releasing any tension that's built up. Maybe you'd like to clasp your hands back together, straighten your arms, pull your shoulders back, maybe get that twist happening again. Maybe just leaning forward, just exploring that position in any way that feels good for you. And relaxing, letting go of that when you're ready. And we'll just place ourselves lengthways along the mat if you are on the mat, and leaning ourselves back, just holding your arms up and feeling that core engage once again. If you like, you can lift your legs up, maybe even pedal through it, and just hold again, feeling for that heat or shakiness. And once you feel it, you can lower yourself down. And if you are seated, just recreating the same feeling in your core by leaning yourself back, feeling for that heat. And then once you feel it, if you're seated, just leaning yourself forward until you feel your muscles engage in the back to hold you up. And then just cycling through both of those motions. And then those of you who have lowered yourself down onto the mat, you might like to just rest there for a moment. If you're able to, just lifting your buttocks up off the mat, creating a nice line from your knees to your shoulders. And just holding here, feeling for that heat, feeling for those signals of the body to lower back down, and then just pausing on the mat before you're lifting yourself back up. And this time you might like to try placing your feet together, having your knees out wide and then lifting. Creating a little more instability there, making your body work a little harder to hold you in that position. You might feel the shakiness kick in a little sooner. And just pausing in the center anytime you need to, just cycling through those movements. And next time you come down onto the mat, just widen out your stance a little bit with your feet. We're just going to drop our knees to one side and just hold there for a couple of deep breaths before we bring it back to center and take it over the other side. And if you're seated, then just creating a similar sort of position, the seated position. So we're going to drop one knee down and just hold there before we bring it back up, and just feeling that rotation happening in the knee and the hip. And just cycling through. And if you like, you might like to pick up the pace if you'd like to go faster. Oh, click, click. Or you might like to hold for longer. It's totally up to you here. This is your time to connect in with the needs of your body. And when you're ready, just bringing your knees up to your chest if you are on the mat, and just giving yourself a little roll around, massaging your back. And if you're seated, then there's two options here. You might just like to lean your body forward and give yourself a nice little hug here on your knees. Or you might like to bring each knee up to your chest for a moment, just giving yourself a little hug here, maybe rolling your ankles. And once you've explored this little hug, this little roll around massage of your back, and just lengthening yourself on the mat once again, or just sitting up on your seat. And you can place your palms upwards at either side if you would like to receive, or downwards if you're needing more grounding. And just take a few deep breaths. We're going to close our eyes down and do another little scan over the body. Just noticing where we're still holding that tension, where we're still feeling a little bit of pain. Again, no judgment, just witnessing what's going on in our internal world. We're going to move through the body doing our tense and release exercise. So each time we're going to take a nice big deep breath in and tense up an area and hold the breath, hold the tension for as long as you can. You can use my exhale as your cue to let go, or you can hold for less or more time. It's totally up to you. We're going to begin now with our feet and our ankles, taking a nice big breath in. Letting go when you're ready. Before we breathe in again, focusing on our ankles to our knees, deep breath. And letting go of the tension there on the exhale before focusing from knees to buttocks, deep breath in. And next we're going to focus on our stomach and lower back, breathing in nice and deep. And next we're going to focus on our chest and upper back, deep breath in. Next, we're going to focus on our neck and shoulders. Deep breath in. And now our arms from fingertips to shoulders, both sides. Deep breath in. And now focusing in on your face and your head. Deep breath in. And we'll do one more. This time it's up to you where you'd like to place your focus. Maybe one area, maybe two, maybe whole body. Breathing in nice and deep now. And sighing it out, relaxing and letting go. And just taking a few deep breaths in this quiet, peaceful moment. Maybe having another little check-in over your body. And if you can make yourself even more comfortable, then I invite you to do so. If you've got a cushion that you'd like to put under your head, then you can grab that now. So remaining lying down if that's most comfortable to you, or if you'd like to stay seated or sit yourself up, you can. You can grab hold of a cushion if you like. We're just going to do a little grounding guided visualization now. So just making yourself as comfortable as you possibly can be. And as you begin to settle into this moment, just allowing yourself to drift into a place of comfort, you may notice how each breath naturally invites relaxation, invites a softening and a letting go. And you might also start to notice the sensations within your body or on the outside of your body, of your skin. Perhaps you're choosing to focus on the temperature of the air on your skin, or the way the temperature of the air changes as it enters you through your nostrils and makes its way through your body and rejoins the air around you once again as you exhale. And maybe with each breath, you can feel yourself settling deeper into your experience of relaxation, feeling safe and feeling supported. And perhaps you're noticing your muscles starting to relax, knowing that you've made the choice to be here now, recognizing that you've made the choice to reconnect with yourself on a deeper level now. And perhaps as you deepen that connection within yourself, you're becoming even more aware of the sensations deep within your body. Maybe your focus is drawn towards the rhythm of your heartbeat and the feeling of your chest moving as your heart beats. Perhaps becoming aware that it's circulating life throughout every part of you. Perhaps you can even feel that sensation of your life force energy flowing freely, traveling to every organ, every limb, every cell. And you might just begin to notice how your body is able to relax even deeper now, as you recognize that familiar feeling of inner peace as it travels throughout your body. Knowing that in this moment, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to be anything for anyone. You simply have to be a human being. And I invite you to go ahead now and give yourself permission to be exactly who you are and to be exactly where you are right now. And having given yourself this permission, maybe you're able to let go a little more. Perhaps letting go of any tension your body was holding on to. Maybe letting go of a few more thoughts. And maybe you're noticing that you're able to detach from your thoughts and simply witness them coming and going, letting each one flow through your mind and allowing each one to leave, not needing to understand each thought, not needing to take on board every thought, recognizing that you get to choose which ones to listen to, which ones to focus on, and which thoughts you allow to leave your mind. And as you continue to relax deeper into your body and deeper into the space where your body sits, I invite you to imagine, if you will, a tree standing tall in a field, its branches reaching high into the sky, strong and enduring. But as you look closer, you notice that some branches have grown heavy, weighed down by their own weight. Maybe they served a purpose once, providing shade or shelter, but now they no longer grow new leaves, no longer reach for the sun. They are simply there, heavy, stagnant. And this tree, wise and knowing, recognizes that it's time to let go of those branches. It knows that by letting them fall away, it creates space for new growth, healthier, stronger branches that will carry it forward, closer to the sun, more alive with each new season. And so the tree lets go. It allows those old branches to fall, not with regret, but with the wisdom that they served their purpose. And now it's time for something new, something more fitting for the life that is unfolding. In many ways, we are like that tree, with parts of ourselves that have served us in the past, ways of thinking, ways of being, ways of doing. They may have helped us survive and helped us cope, but just like those branches, sometimes they become heavy and stagnant, no longer serving the life we want to live now. And it's okay to let them go, to release those old ways, knowing that by doing so, we create space for something new, something that fits the person we are becoming. You see, challenges in life often ask us to grow, to adapt, to reconsider how we move through the world. And it's possible that some of the difficulties we've faced were made heavier by those old ways of thinking or being, ways that no longer fit who we are or where we are going. But here's the beautiful thing. We have the opportunity to be deliberate, to be considerate about how we choose to exist moving forward. And just as the tree chooses to let go of what no longer serves it, we too can choose to let go of old patterns, old beliefs, and allow new growth to emerge. And as you continue to breathe deeply into the core of you, relaxing even more with each breath, you might begin to imagine what it would feel like to release those old ways, to let them fall away gently, just like those branches. Perhaps you can sense the lightness that comes with letting go, the space that opens up, making room for new ways of thinking and new ways of being that are more aligned with who you are now and who you are becoming. Maybe you're realizing that you have the ability to choose, to create, and to be intentional about the way you move forward. And you know that you can be kind to yourself. You can be considerate, choosing ways of thinking that support you, that encourage your growth, ways of being that nurture your well-being, ways of doing that allow you to live with greater ease, with more peace, with a deeper sense of alignment with the life you want to create. And just as the tree knows when it's time to let go, you too can trust your inner wisdom, knowing that you are always growing, always evolving, and that by letting go of the old, you are making way for something new, something even more fitting for the life that is unfolding for you. And you might choose to imagine yourself for a moment sitting on the earth, looking up at these tall, strong trees swaying in the breeze. And you might simply choose to be in the peace and stillness of this moment, quietly considering what serves you right now and recognizing the things you could choose to let go of. And perhaps you'd like to say goodbye to the trees that you've been admiring, knowing that you can return to this place at any time you choose. Knowing also that you can bring the wisdom of the trees with you if you choose. Beginning to gently bring your awareness back to the present moment. And perhaps you've decided to bring with you a sense of renewal, of possibility, knowing that you have the power to let go of what no longer serves you and to choose how you will move forward thoughtfully, intentionally, with grace. Perhaps starting to notice the sounds around you in the room where you sit or lay, feeling your body re-energizing, perhaps feeling a little more grounded, a little more centered. You might choose to focus for a moment as you take a deep breath in, filling yourself with new possibilities. Maybe you're noticing the sensations in your body have changed. Perhaps you're feeling lighter or clearer, maybe more aligned with your path. As you reawaken your body in whatever way it's calling you to do so, whether that be to gently sway like the trees in the breeze, or perhaps just stretch your limbs outwards as though growing with renewed strength. You might eventually blink open your eyes and allow the light to filter through to you, ready to embrace the new ways of thinking, being, and doing that will carry you forward. And you can remain lying down, or you can choose to raise your body into a seated position if you would like. Either way is fine. We're just going to stretch out our legs a little bit. So if you are laying down, then just bringing your knees up. We're going to cross one foot over the other. Reach through, grab hold of the back of that thigh and bring that stretch towards our chest. Just creating a nice pull in the back of your hamstring there. And for anyone who's seated, just creating that same position with your legs and bringing your chest down to meet. Maybe folding the whole way over, or maybe just leaning forward a little. Whichever way you're doing it, just take a few deep breaths. And when you feel ready, you can switch it over to the other side and recreate that same stretch, just breathing nice and deep into that release. And when you feel ready, you can reach through, grab hold of the outsides of both feet and just roll yourself around so you're a big happy baby. And for anyone who's practicing from the chair, just opening out that stance once again and maybe just leaning down as though you're grabbing your feet, or maybe placing your hands in the middle, or simply just leaning into that opening there in your heels. And when you're ready, just bringing your feet to meet in the middle, resting them down onto the mat, letting your knees fall out either side. Nice big opening here. And bringing your arms out to either side as well, creating an opening in your chest. And just breathing a few deep breaths into the core of you. And if you're seated, just opening yourself up in a similar way, legs nice and wide, arms open if you like, and just breathing into your center. And then when you feel ready, if you are laying down, just bringing yourself slowly onto one side and pressing yourself up off the mat. Coming back to a seated position. We're going to tap our way over our body with our slightly cupped hands once again. Just tapping from the lower belly up through the body. And tapping down one side. Just repeating like we did at the beginning, just moving our life force energy through the body once again. Happy seals in the middle. And then tapping your way back up. All the way up. Giving yourself a nice big pat on the back before we tap our way down the other side. Round of applause for us all. We're coming towards the end of the session now. Well done. And all the way back up. And then just bringing those raindrops down the center of your face. Once again. Don't know if you can hear the rain in the background here. It's definitely raining today. And gentle fists over the top of the head and down around the back of the neck. And another row. And one more just around the sides of the ears. And tapping on your kidneys before we tap down the outside of our legs. On the top of our feet before coming back up the inside. And just resting your hands back on your belly for a moment, taking a nice big deep breath in. And big sigh. We're going to do a little more tapping as we open up our lymphatic flow for the day. So just coming up to your collarbone, just pressing sort of above and below, rubbing back and forth, just getting our lymphatic flow going so that it can flush those toxins out of our body. After about 10 times, we're going to tap on that same area, and then on the other side. And then coming back up underneath your jawline here, it might feel a little tender if your adrenals are a little swollen. Glands might be swollen. Just go easy on yourself if that's the case for you. And then tapping. And on the other side. And then just bringing gentle fists back into it. We're going to rub them downwards, back and forth across our chest, from the center to the edges. And when you're ready, we'll tap on that same area. And then just massaging in. This area gets very blocked up in our lymphatic flow. So just really massaging in underneath your underarm. And then punching into that space. And the other side. And then just underneath your breasts or pecs, just alternating that top hand back and forth. And tapping. And then just finding the crease in your groin. So in a down and out motion with your thumbs, just rubbing down there 10 times. And then underneath your knees. And just coming back up, we're just going to give ourselves a bit of a head massage. So just bringing your attention all the way up to your head and massaging all around. Finding any tense areas, just perhaps getting into those parts up here. You can hold a lot of tension up in the base of your skull. Just massaging in, or maybe you're running your hands through your hair, whatever feels good for you. Just really bring your attention up to your head. And as you do, you might like to close down your eyes and just take a few deep breaths and come back to recognizing what you'd like to be letting go of today. So there might be some thoughts or some thought patterns that you're aware of, that you don't want to be carrying forward with you. So as you massage in, just imagine them leaving now in any way that feels right for you. Maybe you'd like to sigh them out each exhale, just letting go of perhaps a worrisome thought, maybe a self-limiting belief about yourself. Something that you've taken on from someone else, maybe. Whatever might be there that you feel in this moment you can let go of, or that you'd like to work towards letting go of. Just bring your awareness to it now. And if your hands are sore, we'll stop our head massage and bring our attention down to each hand one at a time, just massaging over it. Maybe you're massaging down each digit, or maybe you're twisting over each one, or a bit of both, keeping our detoxifying actions going with the twisting motions. And just noticing as you're giving your hands some attention, just noticing the sensations that might be causing in other places in the body. as you press upon those reflexology points in your hand, noticing what other parts of your healing systems might be signaling and coming back online. And just moving over to the other hand when you feel ready. Noticing if your mind is trying to run somewhere else. Just notice where it runs to and bring it back. And when you're ready, just coming back to stillness. And we're going to finish up by making 3 sounds of VU together. This helps to open up our diaphragm, and it massages that vagus nerve from the inside again and sends through a beautiful vibration through your entire body, sending through that final signal to the nervous system that you are safe to be in that rest and digest state. So I invite you to just place one hand on your diaphragm and one on your chest so that you can really feel what's happening inside of you. And I invite you to really tune in to those sensations as we make this sound together. So we'll just breathe in nice and deep. And I welcome you to just sit in the peaceful, quiet moment, placing your hands wherever you like, maybe holding them exactly where they are or allowing them to come down into your lap. And just taking 3 nice, big, deep breaths and noticing how you feel coming out the other side of these practices. How it feels to be a little more connected within yourself, connected to your body, perhaps more grounded, more centered. And perhaps you'd like, in this moment, to set yourself an intention for the rest of the day. It can be anything at all, something that you intend to do moving forward that will help you in your life. And when you're ready, you can blink open your eyes and let the light come back in and bring yourself back into the room, maybe giving yourself a gentle shrug of the shoulders, a little bit of movement. And that does bring us to the end of our session, which I want to thank you for showing up today. Today is actually a fairly significant day for me. It is World Mental Health Day, and this is the day that actually prompted me to start doing these sanctuary sessions. So pretty significant, and I recognize that many of you will have faced mental health challenges in your lives, and I truly want to just honor you for the strength it takes every day to show up for yourself and to be here doing these practices that help you improve yourself and your life. So well done, and also thank you for being here. For those watching the recording, there will be a donate link in the comments, and I'll post it in the chat in a moment for those who are live. But thank you for being here. I'm going to stop the recording now.